terms of the draft, they do have an okay draft, like a lot. It's a relatively easy to execute type of a draft where you have pretty much every hero has a stun, has some kind of a setup. So Scarlet Mage should have a hero to play with, whether that's going to be Tiny, whether that's going to be Primal Beast. But I gotta agree with Fear. I think they had better options for their last pick because they already did have Tusk coming out from the potentially a mid lane, but it's gonna be Tiny. I've seen a lot of players do like to play Tiny into Ember Spirit. I guess that's like one of the comforts as well.
What do you think about that matchup overall, though? Tiny against Ember Spirit, is it something that you would favor heavily for Tiny, or is it just kind of keeps you in the lane?
No. I think like 50, 55, 45 for Tiny. It also, you know, comes down to a skill. Ember can't kill Tiny, but Tiny can kill Ember, especially if he misplays whenever he has his Flame Guard down. And we can see RRL starting with that Flame Guard level 1, knows that Tiny will be starting with the tree, so he can't really take it off. Means full duration, easier last hit, and some harassment coming out on Snow.
I feel like on the side of Penguin Squad, sorry, I keep getting confused because they've got the Simply 2 based icon.
Yeah, it's kind of based.
It is kind of based. I kind of want to say it, but I feel like they have supports that are going to make their way over mid if there is a need for a rotation. Like, these are two supports that maybe more so Skywrath off of like a TP back over towards mid, but you can see like Tusk make a rotation and maybe get like Snowball or Shards out there mid and try to get a kill.
And most likely it's going to be 4 who's going to rotate depending on the...
Oh, going to drop for first blood. They might even just get Arius here. Under the tower, he needs to be very careful. Satoshi right on him, needs one more right click, and it's a double kill for the Primal Beast, who will
He's gonna deny himself, get Boots of Speed, has a full bracer now. Sky also trying to deny himself, but Silencer wants to steal that in.
Oh, too long of a TP. Unfortunate.
This lane shouldn't be like this bad. They got a kill pre-level 2, which is a bit surprising. We've seen Feeling playing a bit out of the position a couple of times in the previous series that he played. He doesn't have a stun. He can't stop the Primal Beast from getting in. So if he gets slowed by Concussive Shot, now with the Primal Beast being level 2 with Onslaught and Trample, I think this lane could go really bad for Silencer if he's out of position.
Yeah, so what are you thinking from these 3 lanes? You know, you talk about positioning. What's most important here for both teams? Hold on. Oh, bushwhack on both into a spear, but Snowball. Ush not going to get that kill. I lost my train of thought. I forgot what I was asking you, but just where do you think the most kills are going to come out?
What's most important? Yeah, the very generic question coming out from you.
Echoing sentiment. Yeah, I mean, you know, generic works. Look at am I allowed to say Costco? They're very generic. They've got Kirkland.
I have no clue what you're talking about. This is some NA
exactly.
thing
This
going
is NA
on.
Dota.
NA Dota, NA Talk. Looking at the top lane, yeah, this Drow Ranger looks very dead. This is the lane to look for. Sansa will get a return kill, but he can't really do much. Like, yeah, you just killed the Skywrath Mage. Every single time you have Onslaught and Trample available, like one of these heroes is gonna die. Like we see an earlier point in Gust, the 1-1-1 build on Drow Ranger to be able to push Primal Beast away, but not gonna be that easy. Looking at the mid lane, Ember Spirit having a bit of a slight edge here, and pops the Glyph even.
Flips the creeps, right-clicking on Snow. He's got the mana to potentially go for another slight, but no Searing Chains, and well, that Flame Guard's gonna run out in a second, so not diving the Tiny and not getting any help from his support coming over just yet. We usually see parties over mid once the 6-minute mark happens. It's all about that first power rune. We'll see if that's the same here in this game.
We might not see it happen because there's going to be more action in the lanes. Like this is Division 2, so don't expect to see the same things what's working in the 1.
Well, they're picking Mars. That's completely different.
Yeah, this year
there's like no Mars in Western Europe.
To be seen. Enigma Galaxy did pick it as carry a couple of times, but that's about it. I don't think I've seen Mars being contested or picked up. This Ember Spirit doing a very good job. This is you know, a bit of a difference in skill, I would say. I think I've been most impressed by RRL. The way he played looked very stable on...
Silencer.
Silencer in trouble again. Can he get it in before he dies? He cannot.
No, he cannot. Satoshi will die afterwards, and that's the trade that they were making on another NA team the last time. They were making a 1-for-1 trade, but at least this time for Ant, it's the Drow that collects.
Yeah, this is the oh, Tiny. Tosses him back. Still dies to Slight. And the extra minus armor from Blightstone actually kicking in. Like, I mean, Tiny is sitting underneath the tower, has the extra armor, but he's level 5, no point in ulti, which means that he has 0 armor.
Meanwhile, Crawler got himself a double kill on Courier, so that's a good amount of gold for the team. But multi-shot, Crawler on the run, Arcane Curse. Bottom lane, though, there's a snowball. There's a chase for Ush while Crawler goes down top. Looking to get this TA, but gets the refraction back up, so should be safe. And will be safe. It's interesting to see a standing kind of come in out of the core role, right? Or especially into the carry role.
Yeah, we usually see it from the support kid. Might be in trouble, pops a reflection. Very low on HP and mana here. Tusk, he brought a couple of extra tangos, but also sitting very low on mana, doesn't have any stick charges to work with. So this lane, I think Osh is going to start putting a bit more pressure. Oh,
They're
man.
going to lose Snow one more time.
He also lost the intelligence from that kill, and RRL will pick up the region rune that just spawned bottom. Like we talked about the other supports not being able to move. We see Crawler trying to make a rotation like 6 minutes, 15 seconds into the game. Okay. A lot of action happening.
Yeah, Tusk kills himself to the tier 2 tower. You were talking about how he doesn't have any mana to work with. Well, he's going to kill himself and then go pick up some mangoes.
Yeah, one of the reasons why he couldn't make a rotation, TP rotation, to try to save Tiny Kid.
By himself, though, so he needs to juke through the trees. They already used the spear, so they just won't be able to catch him. And Bushwhack was also used, so...
The only lane that is going well for Penguin Squad is the top lane, pretty much. Like, Drow Ranger still has a lot of CS, but they did manage to get a couple of kills.
Ooh, here comes the Ember.
From Ember.
Yeah, RRL gets the kill on a Crawler, and then RRL, he doesn't have Searing Chain, so they don't have a way to stop these heroes from running, but you know, at least force the 2 of them away. This Tusk really needs to be careful about his positioning, especially now Fewing coming over. He's got Arcane Curse available. They'll go to the Snowball.
Oh, that's an early one.
Gust,
early
Onslaught, and they'll get the kill on RRL. Argus is going to die, and so does Feeling. All 3 dead.
Well, that's a bit too aggressive, I would say. Playing behind enemy lines. Tiny finally shows up, gets something out of it. Like, he's really struggling, but this is the classic NA Dota. Sometimes you give it, sometimes you take it. And now Primal Beast, level 6.5, 7 minutes into the game. It's a good start for him.
Yeah, typical Primal Beast build, first item, BKB the most important. Allows you to kind of get that pulverize and move throughout these fights well enough where you can actually throw out your kit. Pretty standard whether you see him off lane or mid or 4. Go for that BKB.
Yeah. They don't have anything to stop the BKB with a good way of dispelling global silence and also being able to get out of the arena. So no surprise that he's going for the BKB. Finds Lance of Pursuit. Good item on Primal, but let's see. Drow Ranger is level 6. They do have
might
vision.
Work. I was thinking, you know, they're going after this. Now they let the Bushwhack Acorn shot, and Fewing gets the kill, and he gets the +2. They just ran. They TP'd top, ran right at him. And Crawler was kind of high in the lane, so he never really had a chance to help out.
I don't think he would be able to do much. Like one concussive, they're grouped around, maybe would be enough to slow them down. Just his presence, but yeah, things are looking slightly rough for Penguin Squad. Drow Ranger, Argus, he is level 7. They're trying to make a move, but they definitely need some extra damage coming out from the Primal Beast. And
yeah,
this
that's
is
what they'll get.
Explosive damage. They're gonna get another one.
Yeah, they've got the pulverize. There's nothing Argus can do. They're just gonna lose their supports, and you know they're getting these kills. They have 9 kills on the side of Penguin Squad, but they're still down 3,000 net worth, and that's because Ush is having a perfect lane and really isn't being bothered by them.
The problem is they don't have an ability to stop the Primal Beast from getting the onslaught. The Drow Ranger is not close. Like, they're not playing nowhere near the Mars. You mentioned it that Ember doesn't have a point in Searing Chain, so once they go on these two supports, they look pretty dead.
They want to go again. They go for Argus with a snowball, but the damage isn't enough onto the Drow. He didn't really have the follow-up. The concussive shot was onto his support, so they're going to end up losing the Tusk, and they are going to lose the Skyrath too, because there's a Remnant forward, and then that's not even going to be what kills him. It's actually the Warden just chasing with this Hoodwink.
He went back to the mid lane with that Remnant. Okay.
Yeah. He was like, oh, how faint going for him. Meanwhile, Snow, Avalanche Toss gets a Drow sneakily going through those trees and getting something for his own.
There's so many kills happening, like I can't even concentrate to try to figure out what's going on, like who's winning, who should do something in the next couple of minutes.
It's a bit tough to feel, but the Warden, he's getting another kill, and that's going to be onto Satoshi. So he's level 7. Very quickly into 7. We got a pause from Kid. And I believe he's 7, yeah, without the tome even being used.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Kid being 7. I'm like, yeah, that's an appropriate age for a kid.
Yeah, I you know, if you're going to be named Kid, you might as well start Dota early and be the youngest one in the division, right?
Yeah, you can also start playing Invoker and call yourself Kid Invoker.
Yeah. I mean, that would work out pretty well. You just persona it, you stream all the time, you make witty Invoker jokes. I don't know what those would be. You probably know better than I would. But while we got this pause, we have Ush talking about the differences of Radiant and Dire. So let's take a listen to that.
I've always been a Radiant guy. I honestly can't really say why. I just think it looks nicer, honestly, but that's obviously not a good reason to choose. I think Dire, what I've been looking into statistically lately in the pro games, I think Dire has the advantage. So in our scrims, I've been tending to take Dire if I have the choice. But I think that's probably just because the jungle's a little bit better the way it's designed, and mostly because Dire kind of has a better access point to the Rosh, which most of the time Roshan kind of decides the game. So probably Dire.
Ush talking about the differences there and what he prefers between Radiant and Dire. What are your preferences here, Lucas? What do you like?
I'm with Ush right there. This is the way. Like, every single time I play a pub, if I'm not Radiant, like I immediately get mad at the start of the game. I'm like, man, I can't believe I'm not Radiant. It's just something about the way it's like set up attack, like especially Radiant offlane feels much better for me to play because it's like more natural to be attacking from the bottom to the top. Like same goes for every lane for Radiant.
Right.
For me, for some reason, it's just more natural. Can't really explain it.
I do agree though. Radiant does look prettier.
Yeah, but in terms of like the advantages, Dire still has like the advantage. Oh, global silence.
Yeah, this is to try and get Kid over bottom. Meanwhile, the Tusk is dying, so they're going to lose 2. Pulverize comes out from Satoshi, but that's not really doing a lot of damage.
RRL, ooh, this is a big one. Arcane Rune on Ember, but usually he wants to use that slight as much as he can. The poke damage, the supports can't really sustain through it, but against the Primal Beast, it's just a no-go. 4k gold lead for another NA team. And yeah, we didn't even mention the items. It's kind of hard to follow because of the constant action happening. Now Ush trying to make a move, making an adjustment. Last time he played Mars, we saw the Soul Ring, which isn't that big of an item on Mars unless you get like 2 bracers. Then you do have some kind of a sustain. So the Falcon Blade is, I think, a better substitution, especially because he decided to go with Raid Band, an item that is pretty much picked up not just on the for the offlaners, but safe lane, position 5, 25 minutes into the game. We saw some Raid Bands being picked up like even 40 minutes into the game on supports, which is pretty ridiculous.
You get those double stats. It always feels nice when you're a support, and you can just get a little bit more into your arsenal. I love this Falcon Blade. Don't think it's going to stay this way. I think it'll probably get more expensive, if anything, if there's a change in the patch, because it just feels like cheap goodness right now. We'll see if it ends up being the change on over when the patch does come, but we're in the current day Dota at the moment, and in the current Dota game, Well, Sharpshooter's going to miss.
Misses, but they'll find Tiny anyway.
Yeah, they get the kill on a crawler. They still got Tiny in the arena. Spear lands, and that's going to be a kill for Ush.
He didn't even get anything out of that camp. Like, he used the combo, and they got all the 4 creeps pretty much from it. I think the big timing for Radiant team is going to be Primal Beast picking up the BKB. They need to get stuff done with it. Play with Scarlet Mage, who does have ulti. Tiny, still very far away from a Blink Dagger. 1,000 gold, 13 minutes into the game. This is not where you want your Tiny to be at. And same goes for Templar Assassin. Like, right now, she's farming the medium camp, but she needs to be in triangle, and I also don't see any stacks being made for her. So in terms of recovery, she's not going to have a good time.
Yeah, and this, when we were seeing TAs all the time in a couple patches prior to this, it was TA just snowballing out of control, getting those stacks and really fortifying the farm to find an opening and then snowball over the other team. But that's not happening in this game, and we don't see TAs that often anymore. And the TA on your screen right now is gonna probably be no more, because there's a sharpshooter, there's a spear, and a kill for
Yeah,
RL.
I think I killed him there. I told him that he needs to farm in the triangle. This is exactly what he does, and yeah.
Arius?
NA team, another NA team knows what's up. Argus TP's bottom.
They were searching, they kind of wanted him. Concussive shot, snowball, and Global Silence is gonna come through. They've got the Walrus Punch. But can they get the kill? The Bushwhack lands, Avalanche on a 2, but now, while grabbing that tree, silence this Tiny. They'll get the kill on a Snow, they'll look over at the Tusk. Meanwhile, Ush is getting a kill on a Crawler. So 3 more kills for another NA team, and it's an 8K lead. Something I want to emphasize, because I did it every 5 seconds in the last series we covered. Leads in NA Div 2 right now feel like they don't matter.
They don't matter, but I think in this one, like we can feel that another NA team, like they are being a better team at the moment, moving around the map, using those smokes, going for the pickoffs, and look at the bad boy Silencer, 18 intelligence stolen, 14 minutes into the game, getting Veil, having that Arcane Curse available, stacking the triangle right now. Let's see if he blocks the big camp while doing so. He will do it, actually. So in terms of stacking, yeah, too many eyes on him. We got to move the camera so he doesn't feel bad. But Ush picked up the Blink Dagger. We saw the solo pickoff. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. But because there's way too much action happening at the time.
Look at those Silencer stats. 2 picks, 1 win, 1 loss. Oh my. Satoshi mid, Remnant forward. They've got the silence on him, and Mystic Flare is not going to do enough damage to deter this team. So RRL's on a mega kill streak. Meanwhile, that's another +2 for feeling. He's got more than a feeling right now, and he's got 20 intelligence.
He's definitely feeling himself in this game. 20 intelligence, going for like next item. It's like this is the 5 silencer that's gonna pop off and deal some serious amount of damage. This type of lineup from another NA team, they might struggle with dealing some tower damage because Mars doesn't do it. Both supports and Ember, they can't do it, so you're gonna be relying on your Drow Ranger to do heavy lifting in terms of tower damage. Snow, trying to farm his Blink Dagger bottom, does have enough money to buy it, but not gonna spend it. Let's see, buys it now, goes back to base. It's smoke time, like they need to get the smoke going and they need to pick off a big target.
Ooh. Bushwhack not gonna land on Kid, just on the edge there. Close. And I'm looking at this net worth list. It is not good eyes on the side of Penguin Squad. You've got the Shard available on Ush. Arena, and this is going to leave Satoshi and Snow together, but the Global Silence comes in. They get the Kona Crawler. They're going to look the other way. This Global Silence lasting a long time and making it very difficult for the side of Penguin Squad to fight. Bushwhack lands, Satoshi gone to feeling. He's going to get a +2 while they go after this Tiny. They've got the multi-shot. They have the damage. They'll get the kill. 4 heroes dead on the side of Penguin Squad as another NA team wins another NA fight.
Yeah, very clean in terms of execution. They didn't overlap their abilities. Arena to keep them away. Searing Chains on Primal Beast as well. Yeah.
Taking another look at this.
They try to go Sharpshooter. He slows him down, but there's just not enough damage. Primal Beast doesn't get the ulti off, and means there's no follow-up for Sky or RRL in the back lines. just taking care of the business, has that Maelstrom, and a casual cloak, like Maelstrom, casual cloak, Orb of Corrosion. 2 supports do really struggle, like 1 Searing Chains, 1 Remnant, 2 Slights. Both supports are gonna die from that overwhelming damage from him.
All right, gets Warden, but gonna lose his own life or not. The edge of the stairs don't count, so there's no banister on those stairs because that would have been a wall. Not looking like it's gonna matter though. They'll still get the kill in the snow. RRL getting now on a monster kill streak.
You know things are going well when your Ember is playing into Skywrath Mage, Primal Beast, Tiny, and he does not want to buy a BKB. You know that he's really understanding that, you know, I might be able to keep the distance. Let's see. He does have a haste this time around.
Oh boy. Coming all the way around. 3 heroes here. Snowball. Not a lot of mana. He's going to have to sip up a little bit, and he's also going to pop that wand. They get the kill on a kid. They look over a crawler. They'll get themselves a second. Godlike for RRL. Ush also dominating now.
They also might be thinking about getting the Roche. There's enough damage from Drow Ranger. A bit low on mana. Pike, Yasha, holding on to Grobo as well.
Look at these comparative stats, and you can see RRL's all over it.
Yeah, it doesn't look pretty for Tiny. Just a Blink Dagger, almost 20 minutes into the game. Kind of hard to play. Like these supports, like there's not a single hero that he can burst. Oh boy,
that
not again.
onslaught was late, and he's gonna lose 2 again. 26 here for Feeling. Primal Beast got 435 max mana at the moment.
Not the smartest dino. I mean, one of the reasons why they got wiped is they were pretty smart, so we had to reset everything with the meteor.
Yeah, you know, you drop it down, they all go extinct. Now we use them to fuel our cars. Bushwhack and a Veil. Still going. Sharpshooter, last word, and this is going to be an easy kill for the Warden and Feeling. I mean, this is when you get a good feeling, is when supports are taking care of business.
I think this is the type of a game where you lose another fight and you probably just call it. They took ages. RRL is going to be the one holding it. It has a full Gleipnir on Ember Spirit, so another root mechanic on top of his Searing Chains. It's just, you can't snowball. You're never going to be able to snowball in these team fights. Skywrath Mage has 1 armor. Like, what does this hero has 1 armor? I can tell you why, because his shard actually gives him armor. Very good shard. One of the best ones in the game, where he actually does nothing. You never want to spend, like, you don't even want to get him. Like, if everybody on the team has the shard, you drop, like Roshan drops it, you're not going to give it to Sky. That's how bad it is.
So you're saying first item purchase?
Pretty much. In your bracket, yeah. RRL.
Searing Chains, Gleipnir comes out, but pulverizing and taking away the Aegis. The team is rotating a little bit slow, but I don't know if that's going to matter for RRL. He wants to continue to go in. Sleight of Fist only hits on a Satoshi. He'll onslaught back to base. Meanwhile, mid, they have found this Tusk, and Ush lands a spear from downtown, and that'll help Argus get himself on a killing spree.
I've seen Ush go for the same item build on Mars. It's just like Blink Dagger, Ogre Axe, thinking about getting a BKB, but then gets Shard in the middle of it, where he's like, alright, we're winning this game, I don't need a BKB this early on. It's a cool looking Shard that allows you to farm as well, and now they're gonna start the siege on this tier 2 tower, and the kid bottom does not have a defense mechanism, does have TP scroll, but that's not gonna get anything done, it seems. Yeah, pretty much. And one of the reasons, I guess, why he picked up the Shard on Mars. Great against Templar Assassin. Same goes with the Ember, the overtime damage. Deals well with the refraction. We haven't seen Penguin Squad like execute. We haven't seen. Oh. They did it. Here we go.
Oh yeah.
There we go. This is the execution that I mentioned that was lacking.
Getting the illusion, killing it. Now Satoshi kind of just accepting his fate at the moment, as he's gonna die there to Feeling, so that's +2. Global Silence, and now they're on for more. They want to kill this Tiny, but he's gonna be able to TP out. Meanwhile, Snowball, Tusk extending the inevitable as RRL now beyond Godlike.
He's been pretty involved, like 21 kills in 22 minutes. It sounds perfect pretty much, but 21 out of 36 kills, because there has been some feeding happening in the laning stage, so kind of hard to get involved in all of those kills. This is like 60% kill participation.
Yeah, he's been pretty much involved in everything that was outside the laning phase, I would say.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I got you.
Thank you. And another smoke from another NA team. Let's see what they can find. I'm trying to look for them how to come back into the game. The toss back is pretty much your biggest ally in this type of a game, but when it comes down to damage, the execution, we still haven't seen them like even pull off one combo with the Skyrat Mage, whether that's Tiny, whether that's Primal Beast, or even Tusk. Like, he has 3 good heroes to play with. The problem is everyone got super tanky, except Warden, who's, I think they can burst him down, but Silencer, very tanky, has that Glimmer Cape as well, so a lot of save, even with the Global Silence. 20-second on cooldown, speaking of Global.
Yeah, that'll be up in a second. I would assume that they want to fight with that up in just a moment. That being said, Kid's been found. RRL's gonna fight this 1v1. Eventually have some help via the Warden. And, well, this is the Warden's prison, and Kid's just living in it.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Another tier 2 tower, the last one. If they want to take it slow, they can wait for the next Roche, but I feel like they could go for the high ground, try to take another fight, maybe wait for another item on Drow Ranger, which is going to be Scotty, it seems, against Temporary Assassin, against these like melee cores, the extra slow in a fight. It's just going to cripple them so much.
The Warden just queued up E-Blade for a second, and then he like switched it right to Force Staff. I relate with that pretty heavily when you're a support and you're like, I'm having a great game. I can
I'm
buy
a
something
carry
expensive.
now.
Yeah.
I gotta
and then you're
kill
like,
in the
all right,
laning
Force
stage.
Staff.
Look at me. 10 Sentry Wards in stash. Oh my god, he actually kills him in 2 shots. That doesn't even use Gleipnir.
Why would he?
Oh, good silence. Catches him mid onslaught.
Oh, boy.
And the multi-shot.
Spear, Ush. Gonna grab him. He is going for that refresher that you were talking about.
This is the potentially a comeback for Penguin Squad if he gets the refresher. He's been having a good time. I'm just joking. You know, this game he's been on point. His rotations, understanding what he needs to do in the laning stage, and yeah, so far so good. 5-0 and 10 on this Mars. I think it's time to hit the high ground. Don't really need to be afraid of many things, but yeah, it's in terms of the start, they're still sitting at 1 and 2 in series for another NA team, but looking like a team that could cause some upsets, and maybe with a couple of their series left, they could potentially like cause some tiebreakers. I wouldn't mind seeing that, because the team looks relatively good for NA Div 2.
Yeah, I think that, you know, they started off on the wrong foot, but that last series especially probably gives them a lot of confidence coming into the back end of the season, right? So yeah, it could. I agree with you. We could see them upset a couple, and well, they're still being careful here. You know, you're saying that they can just kind of walk up the high ground. I kind of agree with that, but I think when you're a team that's 1 and 2, you kind of want to just secure it.
I don't blame them. Like, having this Roshan is gonna give them shard as well. Drow Ranger doesn't have one, so she's gonna be most likely picking it up, and every single time they leave a base, it opens up the map for them, getting caught on Trick Onslaught one more time. Does have a BKB available on Primal Beast, but no real follow-up damage. And there is Arcane Rune available on Ember, so that means that he will gladly take the next fight.
Roche is 30 seconds. They're going to control this side of the map, meaning really Penguin Squad don't have a way to get to Roche unless they somehow win a fight. They're going to feel forced to take that fight as RL. He's actually coming over towards bot. Snow blinks the other way. Flame Guard activated. And that's Slate on cooldown. And no Gleipnir. Or Gleipnir. Whatever your preference is.
Both are correct. We watched the YouTube videos before the Division 1 started, the Chinese DPC. I think I heard like 5 different pronunciations, so hard to tell which one is the real. Maybe
That
we
video
should, you know
was
what
ridiculous.
we should do? We should watch all the videos, get the Excel sheet out, bang it
Okay.
out, and do the math. Just add whatever it is.
Radiant's bottom tower
What's the highest number? Double damage spawn bottom. The rest of the team is going to be inside the Roche pit, so that ages that we mentioned might be what it takes for them to go and try to end this game. Radiant, they are using the scan, but there's not going to be anything done pretty much. Could we see the hero damage done? I feel like Kid's damage is going to be like sub 2k. I don't feel like he hit a hero for a very long time.
It definitely feels like that. I don't know if he's hit a hero all game. I'm not saying it's 0, but it's definitely going to be really low. And here it is, 2.8k.
I was close. I said sub 2k, but
It's the lowest on the team.
Dire's bottom tower
it's the lowest in the game.
Dire's structures
That too.
fortified.
Yeah.
Structures are fortified.
Slow Siege by Drow Ranger. Scotty Dunn holding Ogre Shield Totem has 3000 HP on Drow Ranger, about to crack level 20, so extra multi-shot damage coming out. This is do or die. Like, they need to make something happen. They fail, they don't execute, game ends. That's pretty much it.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
Or they can do this, they can watch them destroy their barracks.
Pretty much. Searing Chains lands on a crawler, and now here comes the arena from Ush.
Middle barracks are under
And they've got a silencer on their team. They've got Ush, so they're saying shush.
middle barracks has fallen.
And yeah, Global Silence is available for that shush. You see the slow
Radiant's
from
top
Drow
tower is
Ranger.
under attack.
And now off to the second tier 3 tower, second set of barracks.
Satoshi. Hodling, as a lot of Satoshi owners do. Waiting for a moment to go in, and well, they got the shards around Argus. They'll look for the onslaught. They'll jump
This is
forward.
it.
Snow goes in with a blink avalanche, and a toss onto a creep. They'll look over as Tiny's gonna drop. Sharpshooter landed. Global Silence is in. The BKB was popped. They'll go for the Drow. Can they get the Aegis out of his hands? They'll at least get that. They'll buy back on Snow. Kid in trouble. The chase is on from RRL. They'll take out Satoshi. Down goes the Tusk. Kid's gonna fall, and the multi-shot doing a lot of damage here. And toss into the base, but they'll call GG, and that will be it as another NA team takes another NA victory.
Very clean in terms of closing out this game. Textbook example, don't need to rush any.